and you just have all of that high ground potential. If you want to
I'd say
like the Widowmaker or the Sojourn, the opportunity is entirely there. But the opportunity is also there.
Yeah, I mean, Saudi Arabia's played really well in the group. I mean, they won the group with yesterday's victory over USA. James, thanks for the tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. All right, here we go. Here's the start. So, not surprised to see the Mirror Sigma. The little bit of a difference we've seen recently is some of these teams have been going for like the TP, while other teams have been kind of going for like the Bapayari.
A map like Ruins, because it's so long range, so not exactly an ideal first.
Well, France is going to TP in.
If you're KSA, FD God already
France is going to TP in.
That pylon on Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's team. Surmajed surely just playing back with his team. France actually have a lot of space to work with at the moment.
Well, that's because like Saudi Arabia's comp is like playing back and poking right now, so they're okay with giving up the point because they don't really want to. They can't really fully engage on France because they can disengage out. So that's why they're not being really aggro right now, is because their comp is more about poking and doing damage and eventually like surrounding them to be able to win the map, right? So they just can't really engage the team fight just yet, because they'll just get disengaged on or re-engaged on. Bubble Breezy, thanks for the 2 months. Thank you, appreciate it.
They have more pick potential with both the Sojourn and the Alari.
And Midnight, thanks for the 2 months. That tier 1, thank you. I'm glad everybody's been enjoying the World Cup stuff. It's been awesome.
Trying to find that first pick, and Poker takes advantage. He sees that
so like they're okay, like
the World Cup content so far.
And Quantity, thank you for the stuff. Thank you. Seriously, thank you everybody. I really appreciate it.
The defensive capability of that shift. He moves forward aggressively into Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's backline, and
on the new patch, no.
Very quickly fall apart. And yet again,
ooh, wow. That's actually a pretty good start for France here. They're playing the way that they want to play. That's a really, really good ultimate, though. I wonder if they're going to be able to follow up on that, though.
Yeah, 50% already. I mean,
well, this is interesting. Ooh.
They even lose Poco in this fight. Outlocks couldn't get off the lamp in time potentially, but the Blizzard was there to find KSA. Even though they lose Poco,
interesting start so far.
A nice
France is definitely playing this well. Saudi Arabia's been playing really well this tournament. Like, obviously, they've been one of the best teams so far, so sometimes you'll start off a little bit slow in these maps and you can pick it up later on. Obviously, they over-ulted a little bit there in the sense that, like, they weren't going to win that fight, but it also forced out Mayel, so it's kind of worth the trade at that point, you know what I mean?
So for Kingdom Saudi Arabia, they can't just go straight to point, drop the Blizzard, and guarantee that flip.
Mac wants to keep controlling.
It's a good window.
Angle, so really not in a position to get a good May wall. Meanwhile,
France just but FD God went down there, so not gonna have beat.
Drop available. Avo is frozen, but a nice immortality.
Ooh, that was close.
Alive temporarily.
Looks like I want to say that KSA should be able to win this right here, based off of what I'm seeing. Emmy, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
To the Pharah player turns Sojourn. Still has that overclock as well, and France just wants to give up the objective for now and back up.
Yeah, good play from KSA as well. Like you said, he saw the immortality field come out to save Avo on that Symmetra in the Blizzard, and KSA comes in with the accretion to stun him.
Oh, they're a very good team for sure. Oh, I just realized they switched
so that he goes down. Kingdom Saudi Arabia will control the point.
If I'm correct, didn't they switch their? Isn't Horde choosing on DPS?
FD, since he got picked early in the last fight, still has sound barrier to negate both.
Like, LBVD is usually a DPS, but also can play support. Maybe they're just trying some different stuff with, like, hero pools and stuff. I was gonna say, because I remember that was a thing, yeah. I just noticed that, too.
Resulted in Labda getting that railgun shot onto one. UV will go down, so does Quartz, though. So France is slowly working.
Yeah, they're both DPS, but occasionally they'll put
the overclock pop from
LBBD. I'm sorry. On
until it's almost ran out. Now comes
on
from the side.
I think BAP, right?
In the skybox.
The BAP or the Ayari.
With the captive son, and then
one of the heroes for DPS.
So with those 2 kills, Saudi Arabia are looking pretty on this point. I mean, Poco's going to have to back up, and France are going to reset.
Yeah, Quartz coming back in on the Ana with the anti-nades to make it even harder for Poco to be able to use
Labda?
shift.
Is that correct?
TSA using the accretion to cancel
is that correct?
Of it.
So I'm just reading what I see on like the.
It has the space to be able to work with it, can punish France, catching a player out of position on those rotations. This is exactly where the Sojourn and Alari want to be playing from.
Oh my gosh. Quartz, what a huge anti-grenade onto France, and 2 dead immediately. I mean, what do? You just get wiped off of courts.
Oh,
What a big
this
This has been a really good first round, by the way. France has Mayo. That's going to be the huge part. This is also what's happening here now. You're going to see KSA set up on the high ground close right. When you start to get map control and you don't have any L charge, you want to set up right here so you can engage them and prevent them from making the play that you want to, right? So what's with the setup now for France is Poco is going to go to the point as ball, as we see. And then Pac is going to try to go in there with the Mayo and hopefully buy enough time.
Some pressure already put on the back line, resulting in
that's a good move by KSA to get aggressive there because they pretty much have to know it. This is a good blizzard though. This is a good blizzard.
That should close things out.
Wow.
For France, but overclock with the nano boost. No, he's shut out immediately.
That's a surprise. I mean, obviously, France taking the first round of the Koth, not the map, but
the 99%.
Good start.
The other way, sub-map number 1 will go in France's favor.
Gorgeous blizzard to just split the team of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in half. The second that they know that that Sigma is going to be stuck in the ultimate, everyone focuses them down. The Nano
you said they have quartz on support now. Yeah, I think they're.
However, now we see why Labda is coming into play. Like we talked about, right? He's locking into that DPS role. He's known for his echo.
They switched the quartz to support for today. The thing is, you gotta remember that. So already, Saudi Arabia's already first place in the group. So even if they lost this, right? Which I think they will win this. But even if they lost this, they're still first in the group. So you can kind of try some things out, experiment with stuff. Maybe they have like a comp they want to play later on in the tournament where you can practice certain things. So even if they lose this match, they're still number 1 in the group. You know what I mean?
Getting to play around those defensives.
So.
Waiting on the inside angle, TP up top through the window.
No, US plays later today against Japan.
Avoiding some of
winner of that gets out, gets second in the group.
Meanwhile, France just playing the objective. Saudi Arabia looking for their advantage. Labda actually goes so low on the coastal side, down to 25 HP, but grabs the mini health pack.
Yes, France is for sure out of the tournament, yes. Basically, the way the group is going to work is whoever's 2-1, whoever ends up being 2-1 is going to be through, or obviously if Saudi Arabia ends up being 3-0, they'll be through. But like whatever team ends up being 2-1, which is only USA or Japan when they face each other can go 2-1. Like one of them will go 2-1, one will go 1-2. So that's what's happening there.
FD God, so no more support for France, and yeah, everybody on France is just going to get melted here. Just a bit more delay from Pac, but eventually Saudi Arabia will capture the point.
Yeah,
and you can tell. Yeah, they're running like a bunch of different comps here too. This is a good it's a good practice point. Also,
and then you're looking to
once you know you're kind of in like the final bracket and you know you're the number 1 seed on top of that.
If the Echo wants to get close enough to disable a lot
there's you can start to try out comps you want to try. You don't want to show up your full strategies. Like there's a lot of things you can do there.
This time we're going to see KSA on the Doomfist. This is entirely to punch in and stop them from being able to teleport onto point.
And Yumi's got the pulse. But actually,
so what if Saudi Arabia goes 2-1? They still win the group. Because so just to give you an idea, so the current standings is Japan's 1-1, USA is 1-1, France is 0-2. Saudi Arabia has beat Japan and Team USA. So the only other teams that can make it out of group is either Team USA or Japan. Right? So whoever wins that game will be the number 2 seed because the tiebreaker would go to KSA even if they lost this, which I don't think they will. But
still without Poco on the point.
See what I'm saying?
They need a lot of health, and they're going to actually pop the beat drop here. FD God to keep healthy towards the point, but it's KSA.
I don't know if Finland's played today. No, I mean, I love how I go. I don't know if they play today. Literally, it's the first match of the day.
Have to go for the point.
Yeah, Team France tried to
I don't know if they play today. Legitimately the first match of the day.
Also Pac using that blizzard to defensively hold onto that point and stall it for as long as possible. But now we face the exact same problem. KSA on the Doomfist looking to disrupt the position coming through from Team France. As everyone doesn't use the Symmetric Teleporter, just walks. Now they have to steal hover.
So let's see, KSA has Nano here onto the Echo, which Nano and the Echo is always a good choice. Because you can do so much burst damage and basically one-shot a target. And you're probably wondering why they gave up the point here, by the way. Like, if you're going, oh, why did they give up the point here? This is something that I've talked about before, in general. It's okay to give up a point if you're very, very confident that you're going to win the team fight, right? And they knew that they had them surrounded and they could just eventually make a play there. So they give up like 15%, but they win the team fight, they build an ult charge, and now they have like a pretty good lead going into it. You see what I'm saying?
Is Yubi, because he has that pulse bomb Summerjet so close to the captive sun, the Tracer can bully out the lamp, and then the Alari finishes off the fight.
Ball into the point. We've seen this so many times from France.
Here we go.
Labda, I mean, just snuffs it out. Natlox goes down on the rotation towards
Ooh.
the point. Captive Son here as well. Yubi with the follow-up damage. Shermajed.
That was a good ultimate.
France's dreams away.
Yeah, that was a much better round there,
Going
too.
to a round number 3 now, Moxie, which is going to be
It's going to be well. Yeah, I was going to say, well is going to be an interesting one here. I wonder if they're going to run the double Sigma comp and kind of just like... It's always an interesting strategy, though, because you don't know where they're going to go.
Justin, I have a question for you. Right? What do you think about this theory? This is the first time that we're seeing Labda come out onto the DPS role. Do you think it's because Kingdom of Saudi Arabia know that they're going up against a team that are already out of the competition, so they can get some practice with the Echo, knowing that they're not providing another team that will continue on in this tournament experience to be able to deal with the composition?
I'd say that's a pretty good theory. I mean, I would agree with it.
Yeah.
Definitely not controversial. Especially since, I mean, they got to try Quartz out on the Ana too, right, Mox? I mean, there's like there's a lot of variables in this composition because obviously, you know, you don't have Hawk.
It's a way to practice a comp that you wouldn't normally run, or if you're going to do something else.
With Quartz on the Ana as well, so I mean, you're right, I think.
Now, Team France going to be fielding Poco.
Running the Doom versus the Queen. Oh, we get to see some Junker Queen. I like Junker Queen in this map because you basically... Junker Queen can get some value. Obviously, it's going to be interesting on its play, but this is fun. I like this.
Come again, G.
Gloskos, thanks for the 5 months of the finish, Brian. Thank you, appreciate it. This is the first match of the day, yeah.
Oh my God,
that was a huge pick. I'm gonna, chat, you know what? The more and more I've gotten better at Doomfist, the more and more I've realized that Doomfist is really fun to play once you get good at Doom. Now that I'm like decent at Doom, I'm like, this is fun. Good start for KSA there.
Especially the Ana, that was a triple-person anti-nade coming through. Now we're going to see Team France swap Evo onto Hitscan. Cassidy's going to come out. However, he gets anti-naded immediately after stepping out of spawn by Quartz, who finishes him up with a tap on that Ana. And Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are not going to allow Team France any opportunity to get this Hitscan into position to take the Echo.
You said you're so bad at Doom? Yeah, so what I learned with Doom was this. I was like so...
Yeah.
I was so concentrated on Doom on getting good at like the slam like engagement, and I kept just missing my right click. So I started to focus on just hitting my right clicks first, and then I just the rest was just easier for me. So once I got more accurate with the right clicks and like understood like the projectile of the right click, like the speed of the right click, I got a lot better at Doom because of that. And then everything else kind of worked with it. All right, Oko, thanks for the 6 months again. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. This is on the previous patch, so they practiced. This whole tournament will be on the previous patch.
They put KSA on.
Yeah, KSA's playing really well right now.
These fights. He plays super aggressively to be able to bait.
The thing with like Francis comp too is like it's more of just kind of like a.
It allows Labda and Yubi to always predict what Team France.
KSA is not going to let them get map control because the only way they're going to get value
absolutely devastating. It's something that Team
is if like they basically just sit back and wait for them to engage, so they engage into them and just go for a play. Genji's played a lot actually, believe it or not.
Uses it on Labda. Incoming Suzu to keep him healthy, also into the Kitsune rush, but there's a captive Sun here. Do they get to live through all this?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Nano on the Lab is the play there. Yeah, that's definitely the play.
Able to get one. As long as Lab is alive, Saudi Arabia usually has a chance, but with Pac finding the kill onto KSA, it's going to be tough for them to deal with it. Wait a second, no way would Shermajed find the kill. Okay, good. For France.
All right, there we go. I mean, KSA has it down to one team fight right now, so France has to really, really be aggressive now with their ultimates. Poco's now switched over to Diva now. The problem is that Queen... So Queen benefits from like being able to play really aggro, not as like defensive. So
Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to rotate that Doomfist back into position, and Evo has to defensively pop the dead.
Diva's fun here, and Poco's a really, really, really good Diva. So.
Waiting to use his dash, comes back.
I do like the. By the way, I do like the Diva changes. People want to ask me how I feel about the Diva changes. I really like them so far. I played a little bit of Diva in rank today. It was really good.
Kill from Pac, but doesn't result in anything for France. I mean, they don't have the beat. FD got died with it.
This is gonna be tough for France. I mean, they're gonna be able to re-engage with beat. Like Diva's gonna tap point and then fly back. So that's why Diva's flying back. Actually went in. Oh, actually that was kind of a cool play. They went aggressive with that play.
With this B drop.
So what needs to happen now is KSA needs to just kind of disengage backwards and try to survive that. You do get the trade, which any of the trades now is... Oh, and then Quartz gets an early pick. Now it's 3v3. But Labda's about to have... Oh, no. Oh, wow.
Another mid-air kill
I'm actually surprised by that.
Still alive. Drops the pulse.
That was actually a pretty good play by France. But KSA definitely still kind of has this in their favor because they're going to be really aggressive right now. Ooh, but now as I talk about the queen swap, look at this. We got Queen and May. Okay. Jungle Queen's a fun hero.
With this Genji
honestly,
in the face of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia,
such a fun hero.
Straight into the primary, and it
no, I have not,
shreds that Genji because deflect does not work against endothermic primary.
KSA on Jungle Queen walks through main, and they come back. Into that
huge ult.
Rush,
that's gonna at the very least gonna force out the cleanse.
To help with the damage, Poco's finds Quartz though. You're missing the support for the side of Saudi Arabia. Poco drops the Diva Bomb as well to zone. Avo still got the pulse, but doesn't need it until now.
Good stick. Oh, wow.
75%. Saudi Arabia trying to reset.
Chad, this is coming on a last team fight. I'm looking at... Okay, here's where... This is where... I'm looking at this right now. France has no ultimates, and they know this, so they have to play aggro, or they have to try to, like, hard disengage. KSA is going to get Nano. They're going to farm Nano very quickly, and they're going to give Nano to Lambda, I'm pretty sure. And then Lambda's going to be able to probably make a huge play, at least on the Soldier. But it's going to come down to this timing. Yeah, that's why you're seeing France get aggro now. They know they have no ultimates. They pretty much have to. Like, they can't just basically sit there and wait for something to happen. Yeah, there's the... Yeah. As I say that, they Nano Lambda, and Lambda gets the pick on Soldier 76. They're getting close to beat. A little bit late. Like, it's not late. It's just like they just got it. So
could even be there for FD God. Poppy almost available as well. KSA finds Poco. I don't know what else France can do here, sadly.
Hey, ended up being a good first map.
Overtime ticks down. FD God gets slept.
Ended up being a good first map. Can't complain about that, right?
Saudi Arabia will take map number 1.
Team France did exactly what they needed to do.
That wasn't that bad at all.
They knew that Quartz was coming in with the nano boost.
So I will still see what composition they're going to play, but France opting towards the Bastion Symmetra with a Lucio.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of mobility for them, and also that counter coming through for the Sigma. If you want to try and play aggressive, the Sigma's going to be finding so much more pressure coming out onto his shield capability with both the Bastion and the Symmetra, able to just burn through it within moments.
Quartz going for a quick peek off the left side to see what comp they're playing. Also look for that potential pick. Swaps over to the Bastion now, as they're given some space to work with.
Yeah, Yumi's going to be the only Mei on the field. But again, when you have the damage potential coming through from this Bastion, that wall isn't really going to be standing long enough for it to find a pick. All it's going to be able
Keep in mind, chat, if you see the team backing up here, this is where teams like to play this map. I get asked a lot when I'm playing ranked why we always end up back here, rather than just like holding like up top on that bridge. A lot of teams want to back up and then take the fight the way they want to. Now, in this strat, they're going to go to the bridge with a TP, right? But they're not going to stay up there the whole time. It's just a strat that a lot of teams like to do, and that's why you're seeing that happen and being played that way. It's very unique. This map is really dominant sightline on third, where you can just like farm ults really fast. You want to go for the poke damage, but it's okay to back up all the way to there.
If you directly run KSA into Pac,
it's okay to back up all the way there.
Burnt down immediately, and even if he has the shift available, he's still probably going to be put down so low that Simajit has to throw in the lamp. The only thing the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia can do is mirror it. Yubi goes onto the sun.
Yep. And the reason why you mirror this is so that way you can then also engage with a TP or TP out. And we've seen KSA run the
amplification matrix. Now he pops it as well.
Run the sim comp already too, and they played it well. So
immortality could be used by Surmajev. Maybe didn't expect that much damage to come through. France with that kill, just gonna play it patient and let Saudi Arabia just kind of back up.
Yeah, they're not overpeaking. They know that Surmajev, with all of the damage that Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have taken, is going to have the amplification matrix. Pac does have the Symmetra wall to be able to nullify its impact, but if you play Poco too far forward, you're not going to be able to save that Sigma in time. So they back up around that corner and wait for
are they playing with the patch changes? No.
Window on the card.
A lot of ults. This is an okay. So
gravitic flux into artillery strike. Avo.
So this is that was actually, believe it or not, a good team fight for both teams.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates.
So like KSA doesn't win that fight, but they go, wait, we have 4 ults now, and France goes, yeah, we won that fight. This is good. Let's go build some ults. And they're down an ult now, so they lose that ult advantage, which means that this is exactly what you're seeing, where KSA can then... KSA can go and win the team fight. See what I mean? I think what was going through France's, like, their strategy there was they're like, we need to go engage them now and try to get some ults back or force ults out, which they did. Which they did. They're going to speed boost. They're going to TP. I don't know if they'll get there in time.
I mean, they just went with
oh, they do not. I was going to say.
Oh, no, they don't touch in time, though.
Well, which is fine. I mean, it was a good first point for both teams.
There, but couldn't touch the payload in time. Maybe a bit too far. Maybe misjudged it a little bit. It's hard to make that call there as well. Now France pushes in. Able finds the opening pick again.
Well, they wanted the ult charge too. Like if you know you're at a huge ult disadvantage, you need to find a way to either do two things: make them use ultimates, or go build your ultimates and make them use ultimates. And France went with, we're going to go try to build some ultimates by just running that. That was their strat. Because they knew they would not be able to win with the ults they have. Wow, that was interesting. The flank window. It's a good play. Dictating the pace. Why are both teams running Lucio? A lot of it is just to disengage. A lot of it's about the disengage that you can do in those team fights. Having beat does not hurt against that comp. And you can dictate the pace a little bit if you want to be aggressive also. And especially what happens is, if say you don't run the Lucio, some of these teams will then flex into the Mei style of the comp. And then whoever your tank is will just get walled off like every time, and you can't speed boost out of it, and they can speed boost into you, and you can lose a lot of those team fights. And that's kind of why you see the Lucio being played a lot. But we're also seeing teams go for the Bapayari comp. It's just a different style of way you play. Similar tanks, similar DPS, but different play style. Which is cool that you can have mirror comps or similar comps that also play differently. I think that part is at least cool when you have mirrors, you know what I mean? Sometimes you'll get the exact same comps over and over again, which we're seeing right now, but like we've seen a lot of comps that are like this, like very similar tank line and DPS line, but different play styles because they can't play the same way. Drop, thanks to the 13 months of the Feeder Sponsor. Thank you, appreciate it.
Artillery Strike, Simwall, and Flux. All of them invested from the side of Team France, and like you said, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. They see that Team France are going to throw those ultimates, then they decide to reset incredibly
Brock is correct.
So they're coming in to this next fight with all of the cards in their hand.
Walk forward, Gravitic Flux here. Everybody avoids it on France. Oh my gosh. It's because of Poco's fantastic movement on the front line. Be making him
Ty, thank you for the Feeder Sponsor. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. See, KSA has
now, defensive one.
Simwall coming up too, so don't be surprised to see Simwall in about 3 seconds. They might not use it. They're gonna disengage out. Yeah. It's so hard to win some of those fights in the tail end of like.
With a minute left.
Team France is going to be approaching that artillery strike.
I do like the ults that KSA have here. They're going to have window, and they're gonna have Simwall. Beat is gonna be okay for France, but like the Simwall can kind of. The Simwall is kind of all plays kind of very similar in the same way. Like you can use it to like prevent a ton of damage. You know what I mean? Jay Kills, thanks for the 2 months of the Feeder Sponsor. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Immortality keeps everybody alive, giving them that.
Yeah, this is interesting because this is like an even fight.
Who gets onto Avo though? So both Bastions out of the equation. Poco goes so low. Saudi Arabia have the health pool advantage, and they're taking advantage of it. UB finds Poco, KSA gets Natlocks as well.
Like, having beat there is good for France, but the ultimates that KSA have, like, just Simwall is such a strong ult. Especially when it's played correctly, right? Like, you might see, like, your teammates in rank throw the wall randomly, like, 15 feet behind him, and you'll get value. But when you use it correctly, and we just saw, like, KSA use it correctly there, you can get a ton of value because the other team really can't engage. Right? Thermos, thanks for the 60 months with the tier 2. Thank you, appreciate it. Even the 60 months.
Packins using that Symmetra wall too early on into the fight. They don't want to get picked apart by the soldier.
That was a super early Symmetra wall.
I like how we just talked about the sim wall. You see what I mean? Like the difference in that? Like, the sim wall's okay there, but that's the difference between like what you can do with like a really good sim wall and like what can happen if your sim wall isn't as good because you can just disengage from it. You see what I mean?
Didn't find a kill. Saudi Arabia moved towards that payload amp. Matrix in the back for KSA. Thermajed sitting back there, just making sure his team is healthy and keep pushing forward. Gravitic Flux now here. Poco seeing where to go with it. Goes towards the payload, actually.
Actually, believe it or not, I like that ult decision by Poco. I like that ult position because if you ult him at the doorway, you're going to guarantee 0 value. If you go for who's on the cart, you can at least have a chance at value. I have a tendency sometimes to heck that up on Sigma. They're going to... I don't know. I couldn't predict this. Oh!
Quartz finds Avo, empty god onto Haku as well.
Yeah, Poco's not going to have fun here in a second.
Objective as well to make sure Poco...
A fully charged sim?
And he gets him as well. Pack has found Sherman.
Not going to be fun as the Sigma.
Really far behind towards the spawn of Saudi Arabia. And it doesn't actually work out for them necessarily. 15 seconds left. At least they have close spawns.
Yeah, but Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have the Symmetra walls they don't have to worry about. Avo going into that transformation form on the high ground, they can just keep themselves on the payload, even as we're about to head into overtime without needing to disengage Bastion, while allowing Quartz to pop off with the ult.
Huge.
He's got it available. Beat drop 2. Poco goes low. No overclock just yet. Waiting for
Casey has a lot of good ults right now. Oh, surprising pick by Poco there. Like, there was just good ults happening. But it looks like, yep, KSA will take this team fight. Yeah, they played that well. This once again is like, I talked about this a little bit yesterday with when it was the USA match too. This is just good Overwatch when it comes to how the teams are playing. They're both like playing like very sound, like just good Overwatch. They're trading off team fights. They're disengaging fights. They're making like really cool plays. Like it's good Overwatch. So
Symmetra ultimate or the Bastion ultimate, which in the large scheme of things are pretty inconsequential. Right? When you
that France seems really good at Circle Royale, yeah.
It's more about trying to bait out utility.
It's just, like I said, it's just the way you play this map guarantees like. I think what teams like about Circle Royale
a couple of fights later, so
is it kind of guarantees that you're going to play the comp that you want to play. Like I don't think you're going to see a team go like Doom too much in this map, right? You get what I'm saying?
Movement in overtime, pushing them to have to anchor onto both the payload and thus giving up space, allowing Avo that freedom of the high ground. Unfortunately, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia had the Symmetra wall to be able to
like you're not going to see like you can kind of dictate what the comp will be on this map. You can't dictate what specific like DPS heroes they'll pick. They can run the May comp, they can run this, but you'll kind of be able to dictate what they'll play because it kind of plays the same way through all 3 points. Outside of maybe on second point, where you might see a little bit more Widow play and things like that right now, but like you can dictate how you want to play the map, and then it's whether or not the other team can beat you while you do that. Chat, can we get some blankies in the chat for Drew with the 5 gifted? Thank you, Drew. I appreciate it. There's a love in the chat for Drew. Thank you.
Poco on that Sigma is now we're going to be seeing that pressure yet again. This time, however, it's going to be coming from Pack with that Symmetra.
So the strategy here by France is just hold close, buy as much time as possible. This is the whole idea behind this strategy, and they're committed in. They're not disengaging out yet. Is just build ult charge, buy as much time as you can. If you can get a minute off the clock and some ult charge, you're happy with that. Like, that's what you want to do. It gives you an early start. Sorry, KSA that is. Sorry, I forgot that. That's why KSA is playing in their spawn is to buy time.
So Majed is going to have the amp matrix, and we talked about it.
Basically, they're playing in spawn to build ult charge, increases how many team fights you take, and that's what you're seeing. Now, obviously, France got a little bit of an ult advantage, but I think KSA will have a window here early, which should start here in a second.
HP, but some heals there now for Majed, who's built up that window very quickly.
All right.
Pops it. Yubi finds the kill onto Avo, too. Bastion removed again for France. They're getting that payload space at the very least.
Yeah, but they're not going to...
Nice engagement.
I've talked about this before. Like, KSA is not going to really care if the cart pushes to there because they're going to fight in this area anyway. The only real thing you can talk about that is like, well, if you look at it here, you know, the cart might block a couple of like really good plays you can do, but like they're gonna engage there anyway. They're not worried about the cart being pushed. So you can give up some. You can give that up. So.
They're in a great position now. France, maybe they do that TP play again. So
well, they're going to definitely do a TP play.
For that, as long as
I think they're going to TP bridge.
Teams have to be wary
if they can get the bottom of these stairs here, they're going to TP bridge. Okay, so
falling out now, France
here we go. Get ready.
TP on the bridge, right to catch out Saudi Arabia, but doesn't take it. Only the Bastion does, and in fact,
both teams ended up TPing bridge. Both teams wanted to basically get back to the bridge first, but then both teams TP'd there. But France had window. They have to back away now. As you can see, by the way, yeah, I was gonna say they're waiting to use beat. And ooh, that was a good TP usage right there.
KSA's Gravitic flux there, traded back and forth. Poco
Why aren't they playing on the new patch? Well, the reason why they're not going to play the new patch is because the teams are... Basically, the way it works is once a patch is... Once they start scrimming on a certain patch, it is decided that that will be the patch that you play on. That is it. You will... And that's so, like, let's say there's a major change to, like, what heroes are being played, or, like, a hero becomes a lot worse. It's so the teams are just a lot well-practiced, and you're going to see that good Overwatch when teams are able to play that way. So that's what you do. So, like, they basically were set to the patch they were on, and that's that. The whole tournament will be on that. That's why.
Put that Symmetra primary beam to good use. Poco, because he went down earlier on in that fight, still holds on to the Sigma Flux as well. The reason why Kingdom of Saudi Arabia...
Okay, France is going to... Oh, that's a really big pick for France. I want to say that what we're going to see here is you might see Quartz lead off with the Bastion ult here, and then they go into a window play. Or they lead with window, and then they just wait for the combo with the KSA. Good, I still like this ult by Poco. And the reason why I like this ultimate is it's all about being proactive. I talk about that all the time. France is understanding they have to be aggro. And there was the Bastion ult, now you're seeing the window. You're seeing the double window, so it can go in either favor here. It seems to me that it's pretty even, actually. I can't predict this team fight yet. I'm looking at the HP. KSA and France are both just good on HP. That wall is huge for France.
Symmetra wall used by Pac. They want to go aggressive with it. The flank TP comes through from Pac, but he's countered by Haku. Immortality field there. Pac has to fall back, in which he does so. Poco on the front line.
Yeah, that was going to be it. So, Chat, I know that you look at that and go, like, oh, how come they didn't get on the point?
And get those closer spawns.
But it's tough to do that with the sim wall. That's why I keep talking about how the sim walls are really strong ability, like a strong ultimate. So, yep. Flip, thanks for the 2 months of the Features Prime. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. That ultimate's so good. All right, KSA's going to take the high ground. This is where a lot of teams play. They do have a bit of an ultimate coming up right now. So, I'm surprised they committed the beat to this, because I think that... Maybe not. We'll see.
Just have to duke it out.
Wow.
But
wait a second.
Oh, that's brutal. Ava, fantastic. Double kill with that. But
I was going to say, I think KSA might be able to turn that fight. This is so close.
They came back in this fight.
Alessio, thanks for the 3 months of the Features Prime. Thank you, appreciate it. This is what I'm saying, chat. Both teams are playing such good Overwatch right now. It's fun to watch, like just seeing like good Overwatch.
For now, France still actually got that win there.
Well, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia don't have the sign bar. They're giving up more and more space to.
Hey, that does go a little bit in favor of France though, because KSA was forced to use some ultimates. So I think what you're going to see here is oh, this is going to be tough because of the sim wall. I'm going to be honest with you, France might be able to. If they oh, never mind.
I mean, that was amazing TV play from
good play. I didn't show it on the camera, so I didn't recognize what happened, but basically, KSA made a really good TP play behind and windowed. And they just couldn't react to it.
France did. They basically dry pushed to put the card into a position where it's in one fight win territory. They held on to all of the actual ultimates that they want to use to commit into this next fight.
This allows KSA to build their ultimates back up, and this kind of makes it more even on what you're going to see. Granted, France does have the window advantage.
They're going to run out of room.
Macro France. Yeah. You said Moxie
good disengage. Really good disengage there.
On their attacking side. FD, God, that's not what you'd like to see. Rabbinic Flux from Poco, though, to try to equalize it, but maybe that was a really good disengage. Worth it. However, hindsight 2020, no kills there. Haku looking for the boop again. Oh, no, but nobody gets killed there. Haku looked like he was potentially going to fall, but Poco avoiding that ledge like it was the plague.
Team France's ultimate economy advantage has gone up in smoke now as well. Quartz has got the
that's what I was saying. Like once KSA won that first team fight, the ult advantage shifted a little bit, and that's what you're seeing right now. Like what France is trying to do now is they want to try to get underneath like point control. Like basically what they want to do is they want to get underneath when they're sitting on that high ground, and it's kind of going a little bit. I want to say that KSA still has a little bit of an advantage here because of the sim wall up now. I think for France they'll probably disengage it. I mean, not probably, they are disengaging it, but now they got the sim wall out and they're going to re-aggress. But now you're going to see KSA use their window very shortly, especially when they have everybody there and they're going to window this.
Waiting for no ultimates, though, for France's side. They need to find a kill. With no ultimates.
Their disengages have been really good. They flipped the map on him, though, but they have the window. So, like, they're not really worried about that right now. What's probably going to happen is they're going to TP back and window. Yeah.
And the first point, it was a bit of a weak spot. TP from them. They find Avo. Oh, no, that's terrible for France.
So, like, you see that, you're like, oh, no, they flipped the map. They're just TPing and windowing.
Wipe back to the spawn.
Even if it's a quick wipe, though, they're still going into the Sig 9 in overtime. They're staggering now.
What does France have? Window, Bastion, Sigma. Not yet, though. KSA is going to play aggressive and use... They're going to be aggressive, and they're going to use their... They're going to use their Sigma right away. Yeah, and they got the Bastion.
Wow. Atlanta Rain Finals. No, never mind. It's not happening. KSA
played that really well. I mean,
France can touch, and
they only 3-0 in the group. They're obviously going to be first place in the group regardless, and they played well against France. I will say it was good Overwatch. France played well. France did play well. Like it was tough for France because they were in such a tough group, and they went 0-3, but they didn't really play like what you would normally see with like an 0-3 team. You know what I mean? Like they played well this tournament. It's just the other teams were playing better at this point. So.